Hey guys, Dwayne here. Wanted to talk a little bit about narcissistic recovery. And I was thinking about this the other day. Actually, I was listening to a song. You may have heard it if you're old like I am. Pink Floyd, Off the Wall, or not Off the Wall, From the Wall album, Comfortably Numb. And I was thinking about this because it reminded me of a time a couple years back, or maybe a year ago, I'm not entirely sure. But a time in the past where when I was going through this, and I was in that tweener stage, right, that between stage. I knew about narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, the cluster B, all covert narcissism, post-traumatic or complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and all that stuff. And it kind of peaks and valleys on your recovery. And I ended up in a situation which I kind of dubbed the comfortably numb stage. It's like I didn't feel as angry and depressed and hurt and all that stuff. I wasn't like overly happy, like when you first hit this stuff and you realize it actually feels amazing because it gives you closure, or you feel like you have closure. You feel like you finally understand. You feel like, oh my gosh, I finally have answers. I get it now. It made no sense before, because it doesn't make sense. When you're dealing with this and you have kids involved and weird things are happening, or decisions that are being made that are just like, not making any sense, it drives you crazy, and then you start questioning yourself and all that stuff, right? Okay, so I'm not talking necessarily about that, but I mean, it's like different stages you go through. And then you end up in this stage where you're just numb. You don't feel anything. You're not mad anymore. You're not happy anymore. You're not depressed anymore. You're not, it's just like, it's like blah, blah. And okay, so the reason I want to talk about that, and for me, during various stages of this, and I've talked about this before in other videos, you feel like you're not getting anywhere. You're feeling like it's never going to end. And then when you get into this numb stage, it could feel okay, because it's better than feeling like you're going crazy and feeling depressed and feeling angry and feeling hopeless and feeling like you're beating your head against the wall all the time. And to have that go away can feel better, right? But that's the gauge. Is you're down here. You were like at the bottom. I'll just see if I can get my hand at the bottom. You're at the bottom. And then you learn a little bit and you kind of go, whoa, oh, I understand this narcissism thing. And then the reality of it sets in and you kind of boonk, and then it's like this slow iterative process. And you end up in this stage where you're just numb. And, so I was listening to this song and it was reminding me of when I was in that stage. And it was also one of the things that did bother me about it is it was like, man, is this ever going to end? It's like there's always something else. There's something else that happens. There's some other gotcha. There's some other, I think what happens is you get to the point at that point, that made no sense. You get to the point at which what they do doesn't bother you anymore. It's like, it's like being punched, I guess, and just kind of like leaning back and just like, oh, okay, whatever, I'm still standing, and then, something else happens and you get numb to it. Now the scary part, like I said, is you think, you'll have this flash kind of go through your head. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, where you're just like, oh my God, is this the new normal for me? Is this the way my life is going to be? and it will for a time. And what I want you to think about is think about everything you've gone, like when I did the thing, when you were at this point, and that was bad, right? I mean, we've all been there. That low point when you just have separated, and either you were left or even if you left, I left. If whenever you said enough is enough, I'm done, and you leave, and then the chaos ensues, you're at the bottom. You're at the bottom of this whole thing, and it's just depressing, and it's frustrating, and it's scary, and it's confusing, and it's emotionally deregulating, and and you're scared. And if you're in the middle of your divorce and you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, if you're a guy, you're probably thinking, oh crap, she's going to get custody because the woman always gets custody, and I won't have a relationship with my kids, and I won't be able to help them, and I won't be a part of their lives. But conversely, as a woman, and this is what I've heard from other people, but I mean, you're like, oh crap, he's threatening to take the kids away. He's gonna do this or that. He's gonna destroy my reputation, or say I'm a bad person, say I do, whatever, drugs, you're a sex addict, you're whatever it is. And it's completely stressful, and I can tell you, hey, try to not allow it to impact you, but it's going to impact you. There's no way around it. I mean, unless you happen to, like the day this stuff happens, if someone knocks at your door, I don't know if you can hear that, if someone knocks at your door and says, hey, hi, Susie, just heard, or Bill, I just heard that you're going through a narcissistic divorce. You don't really know it yet, but here, let me tell you what's going on. Here's the handbook. Here's the Narcissistic Recovery Co-Parenting Divorce Guide. And the only way that really happens is if you somehow, in the midst of this, in the beginning stages of this, you somehow stumble across it and it makes sense to you. It didn't for me. No one said it to me. People made some comments about, just people made comments, but there was no context to it, and it didn't make sense because until you know this, you don't even realize these people exist. Okay, my point is as you go through these different stages, and if you get to this comfortably numb stage, and you feel like it's just never going to end. So here's two things that I want you to think about. One, think about the way it was before. Think about when it was down here and when you were in that beginning stages, like before you knew, and then when you knew, and the different stages of that. And it progressively gets better. And I'm here to tell you that you can still get through that. When you decide to take your life back and you decide to not give them any power and you decide to start living, it starts to go away and you get your life back. You get the old you back, or the new and improved you, or however you want to look at it. You're going to get it back. You just have to give everything time. And it's okay. It's okay that it takes time. I didn't think it was okay. I was like, this is taking too long. This isn't right. And when people said, well, it just takes as much time as it takes. Everyone's different. How is that even helpful? I mean, it's true. Okay. I mean, I'll give them that. But it's like the words don't connect. And when somebody, if I'm sitting here, hey guys, I'm really happy. My life is great. And your life will be great too. Well, it sounds like BS. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, you're like, oh yeah, okay, well, yeah, great, yeah, okay, it worked out good for you, But what I'm here to tell you is it sucks and it's painful, but it does get better, okay? And everyone takes a little bit extra, everyone's path, everyone's long path is a little bit different, and it's okay, okay? You will get through this. It may, if you're lucky, maybe it only takes, maybe it takes months or weeks, Probably if you've been in a really bad situation, And the sad part is that means you've been around this your entire life. It's going to take longer, but it just stick with it. It will work. You will get there. There is light at the end of the tunnel. There is. I mean, it may not feel like it. It may be like, yeah, Dwayne, that's great. Yeah, oh, that's easy for you to say. You're sitting here in front of, I guess, a nice camera and stuff, and you have your house. This couch here was going to the dump. A friend of mine felt sorry for me and was like, hey, I was going to take your furniture to the dump. If you need it, you can have it. I'm like, I'll be right over. I've had this crap for a couple of years. It's not easy, okay? And everyone's path is a little bit different, but it does get better. You find a way to find yourself in the midst of it. Just, when you're having bad days, and I have a video about having bad days and stuff like that, you'll get through it. And if you're stuck at one of these stages, it's okay, guys. It's okay. You're gonna get through it. It's just, it's just that part of the journey, okay? And the reason I wanted to bring this up, because I was thinking about it, I was like, when I was going through my comfortably numb stage, I felt like it would never end. I'm not even sure how long it lasted. It was a while. I mean, it was at least a couple of months. And, but it gets better. It does. It really does. So just stick with it. Take a deep breath. Take hope and faith in the fact that you get better. You get over the anger. If you watch some videos where people are just totally mad and just bagging on, and it's really weird because you can kind of do it in a couple different ways. You can be really happy and bag on the person, or you can be really angry and bag on the person or the situation. But all of that is a process. All of that is a stage that you go through on this. And, you have to, maybe it'll be a long stage and maybe it'll be a shorter stage. And more than likely at some point you'll be like, like for me, the comfortably numb stage, I'm like, I'm done with this. I don't want to be this anymore. The angry stage, I'm done with this. I don't want to be this anymore. The depressed stage, I don't want to do this anymore. And it's like, and every time you turn around, it's like, oh my God, is it, does this ever end? And it does. I mean, it does with the way you look at it. Is it, like I've said before, is the other person going to change? The person's never going to change unless some traumatic event happens to them and they somehow have a life-changing experience which causes them to say, oh crap, something has to change. It's not going to change. And I hate to, I don't hate to say this, but hopefully at some point they do. It would suck, from what they put you through. You probably are like, damn it, no, Dwayne, no. They need to be miserable forever. Guys, I get it. I feel the same way, but the more you learn on this, the more you grow on this, you get to the point where you don't care. And not because you're beat down or because you're numb, because your life has progressed to the point you've learned to get away from these toxic people and get them out of your life and surround yourself with better people. It happens. It will happen. All of this, it's a step. It's a growth step. So, okay, mainly just if you're going through this, just take some comfort out of that. This is just, on your trip from the West Coast to the East Coast, you're like in the middle. You're in Missouri. Unless you stop and you don't ever move on, you will move on to the next state. I have a weird analogy. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm just trying to say that it's okay. You're going to get through this. You will learn how to process it to where they don't have power over you anymore. And no one else, if you do this right and you stay with it, no one else will be able to do it to you again. You won't allow people who are in your life that are currently doing it to you. And I'm not even talking about romantic. It could be friends, family, bosses, employees, coworkers, the whole nine yards. You will learn like, okay, I see it now. And you will like, kind of wall yourself off. or just protect yourself and realize, okay, I don't need that in my life. I am not going to allow that in my life, and only allow the positive things in. Okay, so, man, that went a little bit long. Sorry about that. If you want to add a comment, add a comment below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Like I've said before, if you don't like the video, give it a thumbs down. I think you can do that. But let me know. I mean, if there's a way I can improve this stuff, please let me know. You can send me a site mail or go through the link on the website. I do try to answer all the comments, or not answer. I try to reply to, or at least acknowledge it. I know whenever I post stuff, when somebody actually responds or at least acknowledges that I made a comment, it makes me feel better. So maybe it makes you feel better. So that's my goal. Try to do it. I mean, maybe at some point I won't be able to, but I'm going to try. So anyways, hopefully you're having a good day. Even if you're comfortably numb, hey, put on the Pink Floyd song and listen to it. And maybe you can get a little laugh out of it, or it'll make you sad, one or the other. But just embrace what you're going through. It'll get better. You guys, it will get better. So, all right, take care, guys. I will talk to you on the next one. Bye.